News Channel 8, I'm Junior Garcia. Here are some of the stories we have for you tonight. Domestic violence leads to an arrest. The tenants of LBJ Gardens speak out, territory rum tax rates, and more. Up next on News Channel 8. In our top story, domestic violence unit detectives on St. Croix have arrested Shamal Revere, who is being charged with first-degree reckless endangerment. Police said that Shamal Revere had an argument with the mother of his child and subsequently fired shots toward her and her family members. No one was injured. This took place in Estate Little Fountain. In other news, police on St. Thomas are investigating a burglary that occurred at Bluebeard Castle Hotel. Melody Rames has the details.
Police on St. Thomas are investigating a burglary that occurred at Bluebeard's Castle Hotel on September 23rd at about 4 a.m. Two male suspects forced their way into the room of two female guests, restrained them, and took cash and jewelry. One guest lives in Trinidad and the other guest lives on St. Thomas. According to the preliminary police report, the two female victims told police that they returned to their room sometime after 3 a.m. and as they opened the door, two males wearing ski masks forced their way into the room. The females struck at the males with their hands but stopped when the suspects pointed weapons at them. The suspects forced the victims to empty their luggage, their purses, and the room safe. The suspects then restrained the victims with duct tape and took more than $5,000 in cash, $10,000 in gold jewelry, and an iPad. One suspect also touched the victims on their private parts before leaving the room. The victims were then able to use the telephone to call for help. The victims said the suspects spoke to each other in Spanish and wore dark-colored clothes. The Criminal Investigation Bureau detectives are investigating this matter.
Police on St. Thomas are investigating 3 non-fatal shootings that occurred during this weekend. Melody Rames has that report.
Police on St. Thomas are investigating 3 non-fatal shootings that occurred during the weekend. Police said the shootings were not related to each other and the male victims were treated at the Schneider Regional Medical Center. On September 22nd at about 10:10 p.m., police spoke to a 22-year-old victim who said that he was outside of Building 15 in Tutu High-Rise talking on his cell phone when he saw a vehicle pass by and heard several shots being fired. He began to run and realized that he was shot in his left leg. The victim did not have a description of the vehicle, and he said he had no idea why anyone would want to shoot at him. He was taken to the hospital by private vehicle. And on September 21st at about 3:30 p.m., a male victim told police he was walking south on Nai Tavar Gata toward Veterans Drive when he heard the sound of tires screeching and saw a man jump out of a vehicle and began punching him in his face. During the fight, the suspect pulled a handgun from his waist and hit the victim in his head. The suspect then fired several shots at the victim, who was struck in his upper left thigh. The victim then ran from the area and was later taken by ambulance to the hospital. The victim also said he could not describe the vehicle that stopped or the person who assaulted him. Later that same day, just before 7 p.m., police responded to a report of a gunshot victim in Estate Mariandal. The victim told police that he tried to sell a DVD player to several persons in the area of the Lantern Laundromat and got into a physical altercation with one of the individuals. The 27-year-old victim said during the altercation, the male reached for his waist and pulled out a handgun and shot him. The victim began to run and another man began to fire shots at him. The victim was struck by gunshots in his lower right leg and his left leg. These 3 cases are being followed up by the Criminal Investigation Bureau detectives.
Deborah Gottlieb, director of Virgin Islands Office of Management and Budget, has sent a letter to the federal officials urging them to reconsider the rate that they use in calculating the territory's anticipated revenue from rum taxes for the upcoming fiscal year. The letter addressed to Deputy Assistant Secretary for Insular Affairs, Aileen Sobek, argues the Virgin Islands governor decides the duties, taxes, and fees to be collected, and therefore the amount of the Internal Revenue Matching Fund's advance payment the territory receives every year through its Rum Cover Over program. The Interior Department recently announced that the fiscal year 2014 advance for the Cover Over program will be $193 $168,166,475, well short of the $263,928,448 requested by the Virgin Islands government. The reason for the discrepancy is that the interior officials calculated the advance payment based on a revision of a temporary rate at the start of the new year, which is lower. The territory calculations maintains the $13.25 current rate for the entire fiscal year, a calculation more in line with the historical precedents. The Virgin Islands has already incorporated that larger amount into its fiscal year 2014 budget. Tonight, we continue our story about the tenants of LBJ Apartments who voiced their point of view and agreement with the decision to relocate tenants due to the poor infrastructure and living conditions. All right, I'm here with another tenant from the LBJ Apartments. Ma'am, can you say your name?
Larissa Davis.
All right, Ms. Davis. Now, what's the conditions of LBJ and do you still find it livable?
Well, I know about my apartment and it ain't livable to me.
Why not?
Because we have problem with the tiles. A lot of water under the tiles. The cabinet them, the sink. Under the sink have a leak from the time I'm living here. That's like 2 years now. They came, they fixed it, and I guess it never been fixed. Yeah, that's about it. We had leaks in the bathroom till one morning we got up and the whole place being flooded out.
The whole place is flooded?
Yeah, the whole place was flooded.
So now, about how long ago did you get notification about leaving LBJ Apartments?
About like last year, early last year.
Early last year? Okay, and are you having any problems finding a new place to stay, or are accommodations being made?
No, I don't have no problem. Well, I went through the procedures of going to the housing authority and trying to get an apartment.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you very much, Ms. Davis. Thank you for notifying us and letting us know what's going on in your community. So you may think this is an abandoned building, but this is actually next door for someone. Someone actually lives right next door to this, and if you can smell this, it's nothing but mold. I'm going to step to the side because I'm about to just catch an asthma attack. Stay with us. We have more news after the break.
This is News Channel 8. This is News Channel 8.
Brad Nugent gives us an update on upcoming events for the Democratic Party.
Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to talk to the public about some of the things that the Democratic Party St. Croix district is doing. We did have a territorial committee this Saturday, and our focus was what are we doing to prepare ourselves and the community for next year's 2014 election. As you know, it's going to be a big one. We're expected to select a new governor. We're anticipated to select a new congressperson as well, and of course, a whole slate of possibly new senators. So it's very exciting. But we had two guest speakers. We had Mr. Adelbert Bryan, who is the district chair for the election board system for St. Croix, and also Mr. Arturo Watleton, who is the district chair for St. Thomas. And it was a very lively discussion, to say the least. What stood out in our minds was the fact that there are still some things that need to be taken care of. The primary date has been adjusted to August the 2nd. And we're not all exactly sure if we have all the policies in place and the legislation that's in place to make sure that we're compliant on the federal level and that we have prepared the community properly to have what we believe a very important election day. So that information was shared with us. We are going through it and trying to find out what we can do to talk to our members and, more importantly, talk to our constituents to make sure that everything is on the up and up. And that's what we had for the territorial committee. But we have other things that are going on. I'm very pleased to share some information with you again that along the same lines, we were notified that the Virgin Islands election board system is going to be celebrating National Voters Registration Day. I know for the island of St. Croix, that is going to be next week, Tuesday, September the 24th from 10 to 2. And anyone in the community can come out and register to vote. A lot of people sacrificed a lot of things, and some people their lives, to make sure that we have a right to vote, and we need to exercise that vigilantly and with some wisdom. So if you haven't registered to vote as yet, please come out next week Tuesday September 24th, and you can register at the Human Services offices in Christiansted and also here in Frederickstead. Again, between 10 and 2, September 24th, Tuesday. Come out and vote. It's your right. You've earned it. Lastly, I'd like to share with you that the Democratic Party in the St. Croix District, we're going to be holding a fundraiser, but sort of a special one, I think, that is special to a lot of people. It's going to be a prayer breakfast, and that is going to be scheduled for October the 5th at 9 a.m. at the Palms at Pelican Cove. It's an opportunity for us to have religious leaders and local community leaders to come together in fellowship and faith. As a matter of fact, the theme is serving in fellowship and faith. I believe the times now call for us to come together and see that our service is not towards ourselves, but for a greater good. And I'm inviting the public to come out to that. We're going to have dancers dancing and praising. And also we're going to have choirs. We know the UVI choir is going to be there as well. And a whole host of other local gospel celebrities. It's going to be a wonderful morning. I think the message is going to feed your soul. We're going to feed you, but I think the message is going to feed your soul and try to put us in the right perspective to understand that we are just one of a big circle and that we have to continue to work together with a humble spirit and being vigilant to make sure we do the right things for our community. So I want to invite you guys out to that. So just to recap, the Democratic Party, we're trying our best to humble ourselves and to give back and to reach back into the community, because I know very well as the district chairman that it's important that we demonstrate that we care about you before you care about the issues that we want to put forward. So we're going to be working on making sure that the next election is one that is credible, that everyone has access to it, and that the most people can participate ever. Secondly, please come out to the National Voters Registration Day, which is next week, September 24th, between 10 to 2 at the Human Services offices in Christiansted and Frederickstead. And lastly, please come out and support the Democratic Party St. Croix District by joining us for a day of celebration and worship on October 5th, that's a Saturday, at the Palms at Pelican Cove. I invite everyone and I encourage you to please consider your brothers and sisters in the community and serve them first, and then we can serve everyone together. The last thing I want to put out is that the Democratic Party, this team, we're reaching out and understand that in order to help the community, everyone needs to be involved. I'm extending a hand, I'm extending an olive branch, and I'm asking for help from the other political parties, my brothers and sisters in the Republican Party and my brothers and sisters in the ICM Party. If we can all come together, and I know we're not going to agree on all the issues, but if we can make a consensus on the big ones, I think we can move this community forward, because we have some issues that are bigger, larger than any political party. So thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it, and I hope to see you soon.
The St. Kitts and Nevis United Association held their annual anniversary banquet celebrating 30 years of independence this past weekend at the Reading Rainbow.
I feel as we celebrate the 30th anniversary of our independence, 30 years is a long time as far as humans are concerned. As a nation, it's a short period. We are a young nation, comparatively speaking. But because nations are made up of people, it's the people who make the nation. The nation doesn't make the people. We are the ones, as citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis, who have to determine whether our nation of St. Kitts and Nevis is a prosperous nation, is a successful nation. Small as it is it influential? And by influential, I don't mean being able to fight wars. I'm talking more of influencing the world through the capacity of the ability of our citizens. And I want to submit that as a small nation, St. Kitts and Nevis may have per capita the highest level of university graduates in the Western Hemisphere. I mean, that is something we can be proud of. I know in Nevis itself, when we are looking at, say, our teaching staff. We feel very proud that more than 70% of our teaching staff are graduate teachers. And that has come over time as we have seen the importance of the development of the human factor in the nation, not just the development of roads and buildings and things like that, but how do you make a difference in the development of your people so that they in turn, or we in turn as citizens, can make an impact on the development of our country. And I think that is important for me, as I said, coming out of an education background and also from serving in different areas in our communities in Nevis. The key is that citizens of our country must take the responsibility of citizenship seriously. And we must see that each one of us, whatever our station, is in a real way an ambassador of our country. So wherever you go and you carry a St. Kitts and Nevis passport, or you take the flag, or you pride yourself on being a citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis, that we should see ourselves as representatives of our country, not just somebody like myself, or somebody like the Prime Minister, or those persons who are yet alive, whose names appear on the tables which you are sitting at. We have a serious responsibility to ensure that we hold the flag of our country high.
We have more news right after these messages.
This newscast has been sponsored by Mario's Virgin Crystal. Let us save you the hassle of lugging those jugs around. Purified bottled water conveniently delivered to your home or office. Also available in your favorite grocery store. Call 773-2810.
This is News Channel 8. This is News Channel 8.
And here is Stephen Koo Francis with your sports 411 update.
Thanks a lot, Junior. Tonight we bring you highlights from this past Sunday feature race of the day as James Bobo Bates, Slevin, and Real Madrid was going head-to-head in the feature race. Here's Dawson James with the call of the race.
Loaded. They're off. It's an even break for all in between horses. That's El Real Madrid, quickest to begin. Down on the inside, Slevin picks up the chase in second position between horses. Simon Says Run and Go in Blue. Three of them across the track like the Rockets as they pass us for the first time. They go towards the clubhouse turn, and on the inside, Slevin now assumes command. On the outside, El Real Madrid in second position between horses. Simon Says Run, and another gap of some 5 lengths back to Go in Blue. First quarter in 23 and 1. They pass the 5/8 of a mile pole. Still in the front end. That's Slevin in front, cruising in front by 2.5. On the outside, that's El Real Madrid in second. Down along the inside and running in third position, Simon Says Run, and still 5 lengths behind, Go in Blue. They pass the half a mile pole and go up the back stretch, and still in the front end. That's Slevin in front by only now 3/4 of a leg, because Simon Says Run has now put his horse race into the race, and Simon Says Run now engages alongside Slevin. 2 horses across the track, match racing at this point, the half. They pass the 1/4 of a mile pole. On the outside, that's Simon Says Run. On the inside, Slevin. Here comes Go in Blue, and El Real Madrid is plummeted to the back of the pack now. He's really slowing up. They come to the top of the stretch, and down the stretch they come. On the outside, Simon Says Run. Look out for Go in Blue. There's 1/8 of a mile to go, and Simon Says Run is in front now by 2.5 lengths. Slevin on the inside. Go in Blue is on the outside trying to make a race of this, but Simon Says Run in an easy and convincing ramp. Simon Says Run wins by 3. Go in Blue second position. Slevin third. And
wow, there you have it. Simon Says is your winner. What an upset. Stunning win, stunning win.
The last 2 races, as you all know, I'm not doing excuse. I was sick. I couldn't be with the horse at certain times. I couldn't put in the right work I wanted. I couldn't get the grooms to dictate how we wanted to go in the pace with his work. I was a little scared with him. We didn't used to walk him the right way, the last two races. This race, thanks a lot, I got a little strength and health, and he gave me the opportunity to be with him until the end of the trainings. And last week we did put in a walk with a rooster, and the walk turns out to be very well. The jockey also instructed me about his blinkers. We did some changes on the horse today. He told me last races he was shying with his blinkers. Coming up to the horses, he was slowing down. When he sees them, he was taking off. Apparently, he wants blinkers off again. We did that today, and it paid off very big. You say that. When he stick that head in front in the 2.5 furlong, I told Jonathan, it's all over.
Folks, don't forget to check Wade video for your official copy of the race. He have it in HD. That's a look at your Sports 411 update. I'm Stephen Q. Francis for News Channel 8. Back to you, Junior.
Your weather forecast is up next.
Your weather coming up next. Your weather.
Here's a look at your weather forecast.
Tonight, scattered showers mainly after 8 p.m. Mostly cloudy with a low around 76. East wind 15 to 18 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation is 40%. New precipitation amounts of less than 1/10 of an inch possible. Tuesday, scattered showers and thunderstorms mainly before noon. Mostly sunny with a high near 85. East wind 14 to 16 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation is 50%. New rainfall amounts of 1/10 and 1/4 of an inch except higher amounts possible in thunderstorms. Tuesday night, scattered showers and thunderstorms, mostly clear during the early evening, then becoming mostly cloudy with a low around 76. East-northeast wind 14 to 18 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation is 50%. New rainfall amounts between 1/10 and 1/4 of an inch, except higher amounts possible in thunderstorms. Wednesday, scattered showers and thunderstorms mainly before noon. Mostly sunny with a high near 87. East wind around 15 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation is 50%. New rainfall amounts between 1/10 and 1/4 of an inch, except higher amounts possible in thunderstorms. And that's our Channel 8 news weather.
That's a look at your local news. I'm Junior Garcia. World News is up next. Good night, Virgin Islands.
And that's our Channel 8 news weather.
That's a look at your local news. I'm Junior Judah Garcia. World News is up next. Good night, Virgin Islands.
TV8 News was brought to you by Radio Shack, the smartest way to get ready for back to school.